So today I am going to share with you what we are going to be doing for history next year. So for my sanity, I wanted to simplify what we were doing to a more family style for like science and history and Bible, things like that. So at first I looked at doing sunlight core B actually because I could stretch it for my fourth grader. However, I just could not justify the cost, and there was a few things that were kind of holding me back from making that final decision. So I actually ended up thinking, okay, well, we could kind of almost do our own version of sunlight in a way. Well, the mentality of it with the read alouds and it being history based and literature based and all that kind of stuff. So, at first, I was just going to do Story of the World. And then I really started kind of diving into it. And I really wanted a little bit more biblical history in here. And so then I found Mystery of History, which actually a friend gave this to me. It does have some writing, but most of it is in light pencil, so I can just erase it. But I'm not like a huge fan of the worksheets and stuff that are in here, so we probably won't even really use those. And I found on Pinterest some other free printables that are more like the printables for this, that are younger kid friendly. Anyway, so I found Mystery of History, and I liked things about it too, but I really kind of wanted to go with an in-between, but there wasn't really one that I could find until I found this. I printed this out. I will put a link to this website, but what they've done is they've taken Mystery of History and Story of the World, and they've combined them, and it breaks it down. I went ahead and printed it off to keep in my planner, but it breaks it down by each lesson, and it tells you which one to do. So all of these are Story of the World, all of these are Mystery of History, and then it tells you the dates that they occurred, so when you're doing your timeline you can do it. So anyway, this fired me up, got me so excited because it is combining it exactly the way that I want it combined. So if you are not familiar with Story of the World, let's see. I just went ahead and I got the package of Story of the World because I did want the audiobooks, but I also wanted, whoops, that's the wrong book in there. Here we go. I also wanted the actual reading book for times when we will read from this some. But I did want the audiobooks as well because they're really well done. And I think that it would be fun to kind of mix it up a little bit instead of always hearing mommy read. And it did also come with the tests and answer keys, which I'm not going to use this with all of my kids. And I forgot to mention ages. Okay, so next year I will have 2 kindergartners, a 2nd grader, and a 4th grader. So yeah. So I will probably only use this with my 4th grader, the tests and stuff. I might with my 2nd grader, like halfway through the year. But yeah, I don't really like to do tests and stuff with them when they're a lot younger. But anyway, so the activity book is definitely a must. It has all of the printables that you can make copies of in the back. So the kids will have a big notebook, which I already ordered off of Amazon. They're 1.5-inch binders for next year, and they will be their science and their history and their Bible binders. So anyway, so that's all the student pages are in the back that you make copies of. And then all of this is because this activity book is basically your lesson plans. So so here we go. So just as just an idea of how it's laid out. So it gives you encyclopedias and cross references to use. This one, yes, the book of world history is really kid friendly, and that's the one that we have ordered. It's not here yet. I just ordered it. And then, okay, so it has review questions that you read. There's a narration exercise, more review questions, narration, and then it has additional history reading. So this is what I was saying when I said this can become a very literature-based curriculum. So it has all these suggestions for things to read, and then it has these great activity projects. So some of the projects that go with the different sections of this are awesome. I cannot wait to do them. I think they're going to be so much fun. Like there's one where they mummify a chicken bone when they're learning about Egypt. But there's just really fun stuff. There's map work. There's, all kinds of different things. And so I just really love, they've really done a great job with this curriculum. So there is that. And then Mystery of History. This one is appropriate for elementary, well, like kind of more upper elementary, middle school and high school. So you could like use these on a 4-year rotation. And so, like I said, we probably wouldn't use the sheets that are in here anyway. I'm not, that's one thing I'm not a big fan of. They are not like kid-friendly sheets. So I know that there is a CD-ROM, but it doesn't work with my computer because I have a MacBook Pro. And anyway, so I'm sure it would if I bought like a separate drive for it and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just not going to worry about that. Because really, mostly what we're using is this. We're just intertwining some of the more Bible history stuff from Mystery of History. But this one, let's see. Okay, so like week 1. Okay, so it has the lesson, like the reading part, and then it does have activities for younger and middle school students. And then it has middle and older students. So that is an advantage for sure. I know some people like love Mystery of History and they use it constantly as their family's history. And I can see why. It's just, I really like the combination of these two. And I love that this website has already done the work for me to know which weeks and which lessons to do what. It looks like they mostly use Story of the World also in this, which is, like I said, my preferred would be to use mostly, well, no, here we have a lot more with Mystery of History. I guess it's about half and half. And some of these I may not do because that would take a very, very, very long time. And we're only doing history like 2 to 3 days a week. So, yeah, see like all of this. See, we may not do every single one of these. We may have to pick and choose, especially since my kids are mostly younger. And then when we repeat this, because my plan is to probably kind of do like a cycle and repeat. So when we repeat, we could go through and do the ones that we haven't done. Kind of go a little deeper because they'll be older and we could combine them, the lessons and things like that. So anyway, so this is what we're going to be doing for history, and I'm super excited. Like I said, I will link to this if you're interested in this. But also, as far as activities and everything for Mystery of History, there are lots of printables on Pinterest that we will probably utilize for this. So that is our history for next year.